Have you ever wondered why being alone can feel so painful, even when you're finally somewhere beautiful? In part two of my solo camping trip for the July weekend in 2023, I'm going to dive into that. This camping trip actually helped me realize that I wasn't actually afraid of being alone. I was afraid of what being alone had always meant. And guess what? Once I understood that difference, everything started to change. What if you've already survived the very thing you feared? Welcome to my channel, This Way to Bliss, where I hike and explore and car camp in my hybrid SUV and heal through nature, one hop, skip, and step at a time. Hi, I'm Candace Shea Frazier. This is my story of growing through grief instead of giving up, resetting my nervous system, and breaking my addiction to chaos and confusion. Out here, I found the strength to keep going and the first sparks of balance, bliss, freedom, and fun after the fallout of divorce, loss, betrayal, and abandonment. I have so many adventures to share, so make sure you like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Wakey, wakey. Last episode, I went to bed in the forest after choosing myself in a way I hadn't done in a very long time. And the next morning, the forest answered back.
It's a beautiful morning. Can't unlock the car.
And I turned and looked, and there she was, a doe, calm, completely unbothered in her own bliss, moving through the morning like she belonged there.
Good morning. Hello.
Looking back now, I can't help but see the medicine in that moment. She wasn't rushing, she wasn't proving, and she wasn't even asking permission to exist. She was just there, peaceful, present, free. I went and laid back down to have some morning cuddles with the kitties and get some purring sound therapy and just really enjoy the relaxing, slow morning. And having a view of nature out my window is always pleasing.
What you doing, Maz? Okay. Ouch. I guess it's time to sit on me. To look out the window. Are you coming too? Say hello. Headbutt, headbutt. Hi, babies. Good morning. Grand day rising, my princesses. I love you. Hi, baby.
As the sun began to peek over the trees, it was time for me to get up and start my morning routine. I don't know if you can tell, but my little senior chihuahua here, she's 14 years old. You can tell she's a little achy by the way she's walking. And I live with multiple chronic illnesses, and I have a connective tissue issue called hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos, so I get it. My body is always achy in some way, shape, or fashion, especially first thing in the morning, which is also why I move it, because a body in motion stays in motion. Another daily practice that I do to help me move through this journey of transforming grief into gratitude and learning how to love myself. I do journaling and brain dumps because it helps me to kind of keep a sense of where I'm at and not lose myself along the way. But it also helps me to not control, but to be conscious of what I'm thinking and believing and experiencing, because this matters. And we'll get into that more later. But let's get to the story here about what being alone really means. So I don't know if this is how you've experienced it, but for me, most of my life, being alone has not felt peaceful at all. It has felt like rejection. It has felt like abandonment. It has felt like proof that maybe something was wrong with me. But this trip was actually beginning to show me even more evidence that that was not true. Maybe I was afraid of what being alone had come to mean, that it meant I wasn't chosen, that I didn't belong, that somehow I wasn't enough. That's what alone had come to mean to me. How about you? Have you ever noticed how much of your life has been spent trying not to end up alone? Maybe you've stayed in relationships that weren't healthy. Maybe you've over-explained yourself till you're blue in the face and get the same results. Maybe you've chased people who never really chase you or choose you. Or maybe you've been afraid to fully choose yourself because somewhere deep down, you believed being alone was something you wouldn't survive. What if I told you it's something you've already survived? And that sometimes the safest place you'll ever find isn't a place or another person, but it's actually the relationship you build with yourself. So let's get into that. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm getting the fire going because I'm about to do some yoga, and we'll get into why that's important and how it can benefit you. Because there's a lot of things about healing that I didn't know that they don't tell you. You got to kind of figure it out as you go. And the biggest one is it's not usually one big breakthrough. It's 1,000 ordinary moments where you choose to stay with yourself instead of abandoning yourself. It's in that one breath. It's committing to move your body every day, to stretch it, to sit down and do a brain dump, to enjoy one cup of tea without worrying about what's going on around you, but just being present with the cup of tea. It's in those decisions to keep showing up. Those practices really move the lever out of suffering and survival into safety and sovereignty. And that's why practices like yoga became such an important part of my healing journey. But clearly this fire is not working with me, so I have to move, because I'm not going to be able to do my yoga with fire in my face. So I want to share why practices like yoga became such an important part of my healing journey. Very early on, I got a copy of the book, The Body Keeps Score by Dr. Bessel van der Kolk. And it talks about how trauma doesn't just affect our memories. It affects our relationship with our own bodies. When you've lived in survival mode for a long time, your nervous system can stay on high alert. You become disconnected from what your body is feeling or constantly scanning for danger without even realizing it. Yoga gave me something I had never really learned growing up, a safe way to come back into my body. Not by forcing me to relax, but by paying attention to my breath, noticing how my body felt, and practicing being present with myself one movement at a time. For many people who've experienced chronic stress or developmental trauma, sitting still in meditation can actually feel overwhelming at first. Gentle movement can make it easier to build that awareness. It helps you to notice what's happening inside your body without needing to judge it or immediately react to it. And that's what researchers call interoception, your ability to notice what's happening inside yourself. And as that awareness grows, so does your ability to respond to life instead of simply reacting from old survival patterns. So for me, yoga wasn't about becoming flexible. It was about becoming familiar with myself again. It was one of the ways I began teaching my nervous system that the present moment was safer than the past had taught me to believe. Yoga helped me interrupt the fear-driven patterns that my nervous system had learned.
Happiness.
I didn't really have an agenda for this solo camping trip. That was the whole point. I didn't come out here to accomplish anything other than to just sit by the creek, read, rest, make food, hang out with my pets, watch the fire, watch the sunlight streaming through the trees and the pretty rainbow colors that it makes from that, and just listening to the sound of nature. I showed my body what peace was, because when you've lived in survival mode long enough, peace can feel unfamiliar, and nature helps me remember that anyway. And honestly, that simplicity was part of the medicine.
Happiness. Me plus me and a little bit of nature. It's gonna be a sit by the creek in my hammock and read and do nothing kind of day. Yes. If that isn't the most irony, do you see the heart shape? I saw a few other hearts around here too, but that one most per definitely. Is that even a word, per definitely? I just made it one.
There is something deeply healing about realizing that you can create care wherever you are. Sometimes it's just making breakfast at a campsite with your cat watching you from the back. And right here I'm making some eggs, fried eggs over easy on toast, and some leftover carne asada from the tacos last night. At this point, I'm realizing that I don't have a lid, so how am I going to... Oh, I'll just use this pan.
Problem solved. Because I forgot to bring a lid. Because this is how she does it. Forgets shit all the time.
There's a transformational paradigm that we cannot release what we don't fully accept. So I fully accept that this is how I do it. I forget things, but I figure things out and I keep going. You know what, guys? This is part of coming home to yourself too. It's part of the journey. Kind of like I know whenever I'm cooking something that smells yummy, like carne asada and fried eggs, my chihuahua is going to be like, "Hey, you got some for me, mama?" No, ma'am, I do not, because it's got seasonings on it and it's not good for your tummy.
And leftover asada from last night. And my dog thinks so too.
It seems everywhere I looked, the forest kept offering these tiny little confirmations. Dragonfly,
Big better.
to this alligator lizard getting his little yoga fix in for the day before he runs off, to the cats grooming each other, and the mountain chickadee bird singing cheeseburger through the trees. Noticing how much life was happening around me when I stopped obsessing over who wasn't there.
I see you giving Sissy a bath.
I'd finally stopped organizing my day around absence and was finally noticing what was present.
Can you smell what I'm cooking? No, you can't, but you can see. Some organic garden vegetable with some gluten-free elbow macaroni to make it more hearty.
If you plan to make this, add extra water for the pasta.
Dinner time. And probably breakfast too.
The next day, I needed to go get more ice and find a new place to camp. But what a beautiful sight first thing in the morning to see this reservoir and the mountains in the backdrop. So pretty.
It's okay, baby.
But back to the forest we go. Let's go explore and see if we can find a new place to set up camp. Oh my gosh, you guys are going to love this spot I found. Oh my goodness. Check it out.
Are you hot, Mama?
And ironically, symbolically, there is no one around me at all for miles. Here, let's zoom in and get a better view.
Mountain.
And then this.
So whoever was here before me didn't put their fire out because I threw this on the fire thinking it was out. And it's not. It's still burning. That's just still hot. Drown it, stir it, drown it, stir it, feel it, stir it, drown it some more. Gosh, could have burnt the forest down, people. I didn't want to start my fire this early. That stuff burns hot. They're camped out. Boondock bath. This is one of those cleansy, wipey things. But it's dry, so get it wet.
And listen in the background. You hear the mountain chickadee saying, cheeseburger.
Fun fact, growing up as a kid, I took a bath in a horse trough, or I'd be hosed down with a water hose. So this ain't nothing new for me. My feet is filthy. It's a plus and minus of boondocking, or dry camping, wild camping, dispersed camping, whatever you want to call it. So I warmed up my water beforehand because Candy don't play like that. Okay. Ooh, it's a little warm. Why don't I do this? Perfect. Didn't even know there was a tree right there. Brr. I'll clean. And now I'm freezing. Goosey bumps. It's the back and the belly. The back and the belly are cold and ooh. I'm cold. Cause love.
That evening, something deeper started rising to the surface. It was a holiday weekend, a family weekend, and I was there, sitting alone in the forest. No big group, no family gathering, no obvious place where I belonged, and that old ache came up. You know, the one that says, I don't fit in. And why am I always outside the circle? Why does being alone feel like proof that something is wrong with me? But as I sat there, something softened because I realized I had already survived the very thing I was afraid of. Because in this point, I'm thinking about my parents and how they're not with me because they've passed on. And there's this sense of, gosh, I'm all alone again. And they had told me all these negative beliefs, and those were swirling in my head. But in that unique moment, a new glimmer arrived, a sense of, wait a minute, I've been alone my whole life, and I've survived it already. But ironically, somewhere along the way, I had also started believing that being alone meant I was either too much or not enough. You see, our beliefs shape the way we experience the world around us. Every moment of being alone seemed to confirm that story, until I finally questioned the story itself. I had already known what it felt like to be surrounded by people and still feel alone. I had already known what it felt like to not feel seen, to not feel chosen, to not feel like I belonged. So maybe this moment wasn't the danger. Maybe this moment was the healing. Because this time, I wasn't alone in the same way. This time, I was actually with myself. I wasn't abandoning myself chasing love, safety, and belonging. I was creating it within. And this time, I was no longer waiting for someone else to prove I mattered. All right, as we watch me do the dishes, let's talk about what is the difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is disconnection. Solitude is connection. Loneliness says, no one is here. Solitude says, I am here. And no, that doesn't mean we don't need people, because we're human, we do. And ironically, when you've had attachment trauma from relationships, it's also relationships and safe attachment that helps you heal that.
My back is bugging me.
And side note, camping may look peaceful on camera, but it also takes a lot out of me. It makes my whole body hurt, and my back is the biggest one that takes it, but it's also my brain gets overloaded. And as you'll see, sometimes I forget what I'm doing halfway through doing it, but I think that's part of why these moments matter. I wasn't waiting for life to be easy before I lived it. I was learning how to care for myself inside of the life I actually had.
It's creek water, so I can't put it down. I'm just gonna have to deal with it being hot.
So you see, there is a difference between wanting connection and abandoning yourself to get it. And that was the story this trip was helping me to rewrite. And I'll get into it in another video, but we'll talk about stewardship, discipline, and being a disciple of all of your earthly things and how to care for them.
Ta-da!
Because another golden nugget of a transformational paradigm that I learned in my studies was how we do one thing is how we do everything. So if you're living in chaos and clutter, then it's most likely the same thing going on inside of your brain. And the outside chaos and clutter is just a mirror of what is happening inside. And that often indicates you don't feel safe. But we can get in that in another video because that's not what this video is about. Anyway, back to the video. Before I start roasting some marshmallows and making some s'mores, I want to go check out this area over here because the sun is starting to set and it looks really pretty. Now look at that. Oh my goodness.
Ooh, that's pretty. And bright. Hmm. Super yum. Like.
And as darkness descended upon the forest, things started moving. As I heard movement in the trees, my first nervous system reaction was what nervous systems do. It scanned. Is it a bear? A mountain lion? Is it a person? Is it danger? Then I paused. I listened.
What's up?
And I looked.
Hi.
And eventually, they were there. Deer. Just moving through the darkness. Not every sound in the dark you see is danger. Sometimes your nervous system is remembering old fear. And healing isn't becoming fearless. It's learning to tell the difference.
Talk about freaky. Can y'all go do that somewhere else?
And sometimes the present moment is safer than the past has taught you to expect, especially when you shine a little light on the problem. Hence, light, gnosis, knowledge, wisdom. Get it?
It's never a graceful exit for me. Oh, damn it. My boots are on the other side. Are you queen of the car? Yeah? Litter box. Pretty litter. So it's silica crystal and their pee just gets reabsorbed. So you scoop poop, stir the pee. This stuff is awesome. It lasts for like a month before you have to refill it. And it's affordable, lightweight, dust-free. It's a pop-up, I don't know what you call it, tent. And then inside their bed, and then the lid for that. Just like that. Actually, it's yesterday I had it down and this is where they are when we're in go mode, and they were trying to get into the corners. So we got those. Anyway, yeah. Camping with cats. Definitely gotta start when they're little though. Or they ain't gonna be liking it. It took my youngest one a little bit longer than Kaya or Mazzy, because Mazzy's been camping since she was about 3 months old. And Kaya didn't have that opportunity because I got her in the summer. And then we didn't go camping until late winter, early spring. So yeah, the net keeps them in. I have to tuck it, although they still find ways to get out. And I have to catch them. But I'm about to put their harnesses on and we're about to go for a walk. Yeah, wanna go for a walk? And Little Miss Ma'am.
I didn't know it then, but this would be one of our last big adventures together, and that story deserves its own space. But I will say this:
Hi.
cherish the ones who walk beside you.
So awesome.
Before I leave any campsite, I always pick up the trash, whether it's mine or what was left before me. This one had all kinds of stuff left behind, things that should have never been left behind.
So yeah, look up Leave No Trace ethics and do that before you go camping. Do not leave your shot up beer cans, ammo, whatever garbage for the next person. Plastic, like pack it in, pack it out. Hence, pack it out. Like bring your old plastic bag. That's what I do. It becomes my garbage bag. Because not cool, people. You're supposed to leave this place pristine. If it doesn't naturally occur here, it needs to leave when you do. Happy camping, but do it with Leave No Trace ethics, especially if you're wild camping. And if you're camping at all, but leave no trace, please. The animals appreciate it, and so will the next person coming along behind you.
Those of you that go camping know that the real part of camping shows up when it's time to clean up and get ready to go. But it's also in all the little routines that we create to help us have a system that makes this kind of life possible. Whether it's the way that we unpack and repack our car, the way we set up our pets and keep them secure, all of those routines matter because those are ways that we stay connected with ourselves and create calm, clarity, and balance in the chaos and confusion that life throws at us every day.
I know, I'm taking you for a walk in a minute. Patience, child. I shouldn't have worn white to do this. Best $5 fine. So yesterday I was doing this, and I tried to stuff that in there, and I smashed my finger.
And yeah, it hurt like a mother trucker, but here's the ironic part. It actually fixed a finger that had been crooked from being broken from a domestic violence injury back in 2005. So Kiss the Forest said, let's take care of that while you're here. Definitely wasn't the way I would have chosen to fix it, but sometimes, life has a funny way of surprising you, right? And before we left, I had to get grounded and stim in my hammock for a little bit. And that hammock time, the sunshine, sitting in the joy, and just wandering around the campsite, that's my bliss. Because coming home to yourself isn't only about doing deep emotional work. Sometimes it's about giving yourself permission to enjoy what is right in front of you. And who doesn't like hanging out in a hammock? And besides, I needed to get my hair braided and fixed for the day anyway. And it really takes me back to the bigger message of I'm not chasing love, safety, or belonging. I'm co-creating it with nature in the right now, focused on what's wow to transform what's ow. And yet again, nature brought my smile back, and I was no longer worrying or focused on what was missing.
All right, let's go. Come on. Let's go outside. Stay over here with me. Good girl. Rock. Yeah, it's so weird.
These little walks became part of our routine. The girls would explore, Zizi would sniff every inch of the forest, and I'd just slow down enough to notice it all. Healing doesn't always happen in the big breakthroughs, like I've said. Sometimes it happens while you're watching the people, or in this case, the animals. You simply enjoy being alive. And a thing I didn't expect was how much my animals would teach me. They're never worried about yesterday or tomorrow. They're always curious, present, completely engaged with what's right in front of them, and they love naps and snacks like me. They showed me how to live again.
Want to get some grass too? Like Cece did? Kaya, come here. Look, baby. Grass. Yeah, settle your tummy. All done?
It was quiet moments like this that reminded me sometimes safety will grow from the life you're already creating, one small moment at a time.
You want to explore? It's getting too hot over here. And you freaked out before. So, yeah, I'll go in the car. No. Look, she wants back out. All right, I'll give you 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes yard time. Let's go. Kaya Moon. As you see, Mazzy prefers rocks, Kaya prefers trees. Fabulous time it was. We're all set and ready to go. They've had their walk. They're ready for a nap, and I'm gonna cruise. Gonna go check out another spot, have lunch, and then head home.
At that time, I thought I was just checking out another spot, but looking back 3 years later, I can see I was finding a place I would return to again and again. This overlook became one of the places I came back to whenever I needed to remember who I was and to sit in the serenity of nature's healing symphony. It stopped feeling random. The trees, the water,
Oh, look, a heart shape.
heart-shaped rocks. It's like the whole weekend had been speaking in symbols.
So, don't know if you see that, but that road crumbled.
Wait. Watch. Look at this view. It's a big tree. It's
Big tree.
and another heart-shaped rock.
Ta-da! The butterfly confirms. Metamorphosis complete. Found water, but it's cold. Way too cold. And I can't get down there with all the animals by myself. and there's no shade for them. And it's too hot for them in the car. So, it's all good. We exploring. Look at the Chihuahua taking her for a little walk. Taking me for a walk. Look how big that tree is.
Standing beside that tree, smiling, playing, reaching, exploring, I now see what I couldn't see then. I wasn't just ending a camping trip. I was meeting another version of myself, a woman who had stopped waiting, a woman who had chosen movement, a woman who was beginning to understand that being alone wasn't the danger, abandoning herself was. Sometimes the thing you're most afraid of is something that you've already survived. The loneliness, the rejection, the not belonging, the wondering if something is wrong with you. You survived that. And the good news, my friends, is that you don't have to keep surviving it. Now you get to choose something different. Because sometimes the safest place you'll ever find isn't a place. It's the relationship you build with yourself. And maybe that's what coming home really means.
Nice tree. Look, it's in the shape of a heart. Dink. Dink.
If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your bell notifications so you can traverse the next trail with me. Stay sovereign, self-sourced, and remember,